Guys. So today I wanted to talk about victimhood. Now, this is a big issue in our culture and with almost everybody. What I see happening in the world, and what usually happens with people is that you see this all the time in relationships, in fact, that people victimize themselves. And this is something that most of us do. I know I've caught myself doing it in the past. It can be a very difficult thing to get around, but it's good to be aware of it. So the way things are operating now, it's my understanding that many of the problems of the world are because of this self-victimization. So what happens is you're in a conversation with someone, it's just going along. One of the people, one of the parties, so this could be in a romantic relationship or friends or business relationship, whatever it is, somebody says something that's a trigger for the other person or something that brings up an emotion for the other person. So now the person who has the emotion come up becomes very sensitive. And when fear is usually what comes up, when a little bit of fear comes up, what can often happen is that little bit of fear pulls up with it from the depths a larger thing of fear from some childhood trauma or some other thing. So the person will seem to get more upset and more affected than they should be from the little thing that's happening, right? So they can get very upset. And once that happens with the person, if you use logic or reason or try to explain things, especially if you try and give details or facts about something, that's not something they can hear because they're flooded with all of this fear and then anger, and anger is the outgrowth of fear. So whatever kind of fear that they're feeling, once they're feeling that, they can only feel the emotion and they can't really respond any longer to logic and reason and things like that. So what I have found is the best thing to do when this happens with someone is to just help them relax and understand that they're under a lot of fear right now, and that the first order of business is for them to be able to relax and calm down and let the fear pass. So, but what usually happens is that then once that happens to one person, then the other person will then take it personally and victimize themselves, and then they'll have the same process go. And this is how these arguments start over nothing, and how both people are victimizing themselves. Both people have this fear coming up that they're unaware of, most likely, or they feel angry. They don't know exactly why they feel angry, or more likely they identify the anger to something the other person did, like burn their toast or something, which is clearly not the reason that they're that angry. So the best thing to do in a situation like this, as I said, is to one of the two people, if there's not a referee, if there's not a therapist or somebody else there, one of the two people needs to pull out of it and say, okay, we're fighting each other here. This fighting is not going to solve any problems. I feel angry and upset right now, but I recognize that this is what's happening, so I need to calm myself down. That's why it's a good time for people to take breaks. That's why it's good to be able to just go to the bathroom or go in another room or say, I need a 5-minute break. Then within that period of time, you can help yourself relax, do a grounding exercise, become embodied, get into your body. You can touch all the different, slapping your legs can help you get into your body, and or you can just doing some exercise, doing something physical with your body really quickly, or some people respond to breathing exercises. Do some breathing exercises, whatever you need to do to relax, let that fear move through you. Accept the fear, be aware of it. It can be really helpful to be aware that whatever emotion you're feeling, fear, anger, that emotion is not you. And we have some problem with the language here because people will say, I am angry, I am scared. And that kind of defines you as the emotion. The emotion is not you. The emotion is something you experience. You're the experiencer. The emotion is something that's happening that moves through. The emotion is an event. So when we change that verb of the emotion to a noun, make it a solid thing, I am afraid, then we become the fear, right? So we identify with that. And to do that, we identify with it to such a level that we think we are the fear, right? Or we are the anger, but we're not. So just being able to observe that. Then you can come back, once one of the people has relaxed, or you may even be able to do it right just standing right there within a few seconds. Then you can help the other person get out of it by, doing something that if you know them well, especially, you can do something that will help them relax. Or you can even call it out and say, oh wait, why are we fighting here? We're supposed to be on the same team. This is great for in a relationship. This is one thing to always keep in mind, is that you want to be on the same side, on the same team all the time. And no matter what issue arises, you want to tackle it together, not tackle each other. And unfortunately, this is what usually happens in relationships, is that once something comes up, it's very easy because our language is not exact, and because we all have these pasts with all these emotions attached to them, and all it takes is for another person to say something that will set us off and bring up that emotion, and then we tend to think, oh, that person said those words, now I'm angry, they made me angry. That person said those words, now I'm sad, they made me sad. That person said those words, now I'm afraid, they made me afraid. But they didn't make you afraid. They just said the thing that connected in your brain to your history and brought up some other emotion. So, and that's just coincidental, right? It's not, they didn't do that on purpose, most likely. And even if they did do it on purpose, they still can't make you feel something. Those are your emotions. And we actually, frankly, all need practice with those emotions. And we all have these emotions stored in us from these past traumas. And those need to come out and clear. And actually, that other person is doing you a favor. They're helping you, because they're helping you clear those old emotions, those stored emotions that need to be released. So if you can go through a releasing process, if this is a caveat, if when those emotions come up, when they arise, you feel them, respect them, let them move through and let them pass, and don't hold on to them. If you just become angry and yell and blame the other person, then they didn't get cleared. But they're giving you the opportunity. Whether you take it or not is up to you. But the other person that you're really angry at and maybe hate because they just did or said this thing is actually giving you a gift. They're giving you the opportunity to clear your old emotions, which is what's been causing you almost all the problems in your life, most likely. So it's really a great gift that they're giving you. It doesn't seem like it at the time. So if you can be thankful with that person, then that's better. And at the very least, what you can understand is that we all have our past, we all have our histories, we all have our traumas, and understanding that that person that made you angry has a past, they have pain. That anger that they're throwing at you, that blame that they're throwing at you, is coming from their pain. They have had a lot of trauma, are in a lot of pain, so having sympathy and compassion for that pain can help you not blame them. Because when we put ourselves in the position of the victim, we disempower ourselves. We give our authority away to the other person. We blame other people. We judge. And judgment and blame and giving away your authority and you giving away your power really weakens you. Now, once you've given away your power, once you put yourself in victimhood, once you're in that place, then where can you go from there? Once you're in victimhood, you can't clear your emotions. You definitely can't solve whatever problem is at hand. It's just everything, all progression is stopped. And that's why it's good to be aware when this is happening, even if you can't do anything about it, even if you're so angry that there's no way you can affect change or change your actions or remember to do anything special, just the awareness of it, just the awareness that that's what's happening, that you put yourself in victimhood, can probably allow you to get out of it quicker, allow it to pass more quickly, and allow you at some point to be able to step in, with your higher intelligence, with your spirit, if you will, and be able to make some positive change, within yourself, in either clearing your own emotions or helping the other person be able to relax and move through these emotions themselves, and be able to, especially if you're in a relationship, whatever type of, or even if it's a business relationship or even a short, relationship that you just have for, a short period of time with somebody, to be able to get on the same team and solve whatever problem that was causing this to begin with, and that way the problem is solved for both of you, instead of you just yelling and blaming each other, and then the problem never gets taken care of, never gets solved, and both people are upset and nobody cleared any emotion. So it's a lot of opportunity and none of it taken advantage of. Nothing positive really happened. You can flip this whole situation so that you're clearing your old trauma, you're learning to feel and identify your emotions, you're allowing them to clear through you, you're helping to support someone else, you're learning to have more compassion for people, you're learning to be more understanding of their history and what's going on with them, supporting them and being able to clear their emotions and old traumas so that they can be more productive and happier people in the future, and solve the problem at hand at the same time. So a lot of good, wonderful, amazing things can come from just starting out with just being aware when you're victimizing yourself or watching other people do it. And I'll tell you, there are very few people that I've ever met that I don't see doing this. Most people on a very regular basis. So, and it's a problem in relationships, but it's in all kinds of relationships, but it's whether you're talking about the government or corporations or any large organization, this problem really just permeates all of society everywhere, and it's making so people aren't understanding each other, they're not getting along, things are happening, and in dating, it's very destructive to relationships, so it doesn't really help to be victimizing yourself. Victimizing yourself is a very strong nice guy trait, so I know we've talked about that in the past, and will again, I'm sure, but with a nice guys really victimize themselves a lot, really go into victimization, and that is not an attractive characteristic. Women are not attracted to guys who are self-victimizing and who have no control of the situation. Once you've put yourself into victimhood and self-victimized, then you're completely disempowered. You're no longer, that is not a masculine trait. You can't be grounded, you can't, be a leader. None of the true masculine traits exist in victimhood, and it's not attractive at all. So, and it exists even in small ways, like you're at a restaurant with a woman and oh, they messed up my order again. If you go into victimhood because of a waiter made a mistake, or the restaurant gave you the wrong thing, it's like, that is not attractive at all. So you want to be careful and pay attention to when you do that. And I think just keeping it in mind, being aware that it's possible to come out of it and to be able to take your being able to empower yourself and take your authority back is, I think, a great step in the right direction. So we're going to looks like there's some technical issue here, so we're going to wrap it up there, and we will talk to you next time. Remember to comment, like, and ask questions, please. Have a great day.